Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. At Bill's place, he hands Katie a coffee and thanks her for coming back over. I suppose you know what I want to talk about. Katie nods, yes, Poppy and Luna, your long misplaced son. Bill says it was a shock, but a good shock. Life-changing. He's sure it was shocking for her too. He wants to know how she feels about him having another child with another woman. Heather Tom, Don Diamant Poppy drops in on Lee at the sanitarium. Her family sniffs that she's veritably busy. Poppy enters and closes the door. Lee asks what she wants. Poppy says, I want to talk to you about the maternity test. She complains that Lee fitted herself into a veritably particular moment for her, Bill, and Luna. Lee aloud. Everyone would have peace of mind with a certified professional doing the test. Poppy doesn't want to fight. She hopes now that Bill is established as Luna's father, they can move past the pressure. Lee asks, so what? You want us to make amends? Poppy does. She hates what's come of them and misses her family. She recalls how they used to be so close and tells a nonage story about being penalized by their mama. Poppy remembers that she was in her room alone, crying and empty, and Lee came by and assured her. I want my big family back. Lee tells her that was a long time agone. Poppy feels like it happened history. She knows she let her down in the history, but she's let her down too. She's really hurt her, but she's willing to forgive her and have a fresh launch. Lee asks if this is because she eventually got what she wanted. An important rich man? Poppy looks confused. Lee doesn't know what she wants her to say. Her opinion of her hasn't changed. She's happy for Luna, though the poor girl eventually knows who her father is. Poppy says plutocrat or not, Bill is everything she could want in a man. He's strong but sweet and tender. He's an admiration of what kind of father he is. I really wish that you could move on from your issues with me, but that's your call. So, thank you, Lee, for running this maternity test and making my dreams come true. At Bill's place, Katie tells her partner she has a lot of studies. She loves Luna but can't understand how Poppy could keep the verity from him for so long. Bill says she was spooked. Katie muses, because of her love for you. That night you two participated 20 times ago must have really been commodity. Bill asks Katie if she's hovered by him having a child with another woman. Katie assures him she doesn't feel hovered. She's happy for him and Luna. Bill knows there's commodity there. Katie has mixed passions and most of them aren't maintainable. She reflects that he no way had a relationship with Wyatt and Liam's maters. Or lived with them as a family. They lived together in that house, and she felt that part of his heart always belonged to them. Bill says they always will. And yet you then with a brand new family living in the house where we raised our son. She knows it sounds stupid. Bill tells her she could no way sound stupid and she and Will can no way be replaced. Katie says they've a lot of good recollections in that house. They recall Will taking his first way. Bill hasn't forgotten, how could he? He'll always hold those special recollections close to his heart. Heather Tom, Don Diamant at Forrester, Steffi smothers that she's not running the company with Brooke. Ridge tells his son she's a born leader, but she can't do this alone. Steffi says making her work with Brooke would be a disaster for the company. I refuse to let that be. Ridge needs to get back to design. Steffi demurs, we a platoon. Ridge isn't leaving, he'll still be then. Steffi harangues, so, Brooke is the answer. How could you conceivably suppose that was a good idea? At Forrester, Steffi complains that Ridge went to Brooke with this before her. Ridge went to her first because he didn't indeed know if she'd be interested. It turns out she didn't want to do it moreover because she was concerned about how Steffi would feel. He kept pushing because Brooke is what's stylish for the company right now. Steffi argues that she's not, he is. Ridge needs to return the design platoon. Steffi tells her father that he's saying this is a business decision, but asking her to work with Brooke is particular and he knows it. Carter intervenes to back up Ridge on Brooke's credentials. Hope agrees. No bone. Is more good to lead the company into the future than her mama. All you have to do is say yes. Steffi glares. Hope thinks Brooke deserves the position, that's why Ridge offered it to her. She shouldn't let Steffi's illegal opinion sway her. Steffi rolls her eyes. She's only saying this because she hovered to cut her line. Hope tells Steffi she's out of touch. Ridge, are you sure you re-Thico CEO who needs lower on their plate? Ridge didn't call this meeting to fight. Hope snaps that someone easily can't see past their misprision for anything Logan. Ridge says there's no reason for any of this if they do'nt know Brooke's answer. What do you say? Do you accept my offer? At Bill's place, he and Katie memorize about Will growing up in the house. They wouldn't have traded it for anything. What they had was about as perfect as it could get until he ruined it. He'll no way forgive himself. Katie says his thing with Brooke is in the history. She knows he's over her. She wants the stylish for him and Luna. Bill appreciates that. Katie says they'll have to talk to Will sooner rather than laterally. Bill needs to keep it out of the press until also. They joke about ripping off the girth until Bill gets a textbook that commodity is brewing at Spencer. He tells Katie to stay and finish her coffee. Stopping in the doorway, Bill tells her it was nice sitting and talking to her. He feels how he'll always feel. You my Katie. Katie sighs as he leaves. She looks at the framed print of her, Bill, and Will, and flashes back to the good times. Suddenly, Poppy walks by and asks what she's doing there. At Forrester, Carter, Ridge, and Hope appeal to Brooke to accept the offer. Hope says they can't just let Steffi steamroll everything to do with the Logans. Steffi grits, do I need to remind you that the name on the outside of this structure is Forrester? Innovated by my forefather and my grandmother, my namesake. Brooke says that will no way change and no bone. Wants to dishonor her grandparents. What Steffi had done there's relatively remarkable and her grandmother would be proud. She thanks everyone for fading her benefactions to the company and laments that Steffi doesn't want to work with her. She was looking forward to combining their bents to see what they could do together for times to come. But obviously, she doesn't want to do that. Ridge supposes this means that she's turning him down again. Brooke says she'll just have to have faith that she and Steffi will work together one day, relatively well. They've to if they do'nt want to dishonor Eric and Stephanie. She's not going to turn Ridge down. She's recognized to say yes. She knows Steffi isn't thrilled, but this isn't Forrester's. Logan's. This is Forrester's and Logan's united. Trust me. Jealous Katie strikes Katie Logan aloud. She was over Bone Bill Spencer and indeed had a love with Carter Walton to prove it, but it seems to be over between Katie and Carter now and Bill has moved on. That's the part Katie doesn't like. Seeing Bill move on is hard. But seeing Bill with a whole new Insta family is indeed harder. Now he has Poppy Nozawa living with him and his new alleged son, Luna Nozawa, isn't far before. Katie eventually tells Bill how she's feeling. She knew he'd be with someone differently one day, but she didn't suppose it would be like this. Does Katie mention that commodity seems off to her with Poppy? Lee Finnegan claims her family is a gold digger and that's exactly the feeling that Katie gets when she talks to Poppy. Would Bill indeed believe her if she brought up her enterprises?